Welcome to Introduction to Iridology. My name is Mary L. Reed Gates, and I'm a naturopathic doctor, and today the subject is going to be on iridology. And I have help with my friend Cheryl. I don't know if you want me to mention your last name or not, but she's also into health and natural herbs. And what is your specialty, Cheryl?
Just no real specialty, just learning. I've been learning for over 10 years.
Okay, well, good.
Just how to use the herbs and things to help the body.
Okie dokie. All right, now, if you could think back before you ever heard of iridology, and this is common sense, and this is mostly for the people who are going to watch this, I'm going to show two eyes. And as people look at this, I want you to wonder which one belongs to the healthier body. This eye or that eye? What would you say, Cheryl?
The first one?
Absolutely. And most people know that. They look at this and intuitively they realize, ooh, there's something going on there. And that's how iridology basically started. It started in many parts of the world and in many cultures where people would look at the eyes and notice that an unhealthy person did not have a healthy-looking eye. So we're going to go over a little bit of them. Whenever a child is born, they're born either with blue eyes or dark eyes. You don't see babies born with yellow in their eyes or green eyes or orange in their eyes or different colorations where it's dark one place and light another place. These happen as we get older because of our body chemistry. So that's one of the things that the iris can indicate, is our body chemistry. The orange in an eye indicates usually that this person has a chromium deficiency. And I have seen people that take ample amounts of chromium. Now, you can't take too much because it is a trace mineral and it can poison you, but ample amounts of chromium and the orange will go away. Also, I personally used to have eyes that was almost as green as grass, or really, really green. People would comment all the time. What they didn't realize, and what I didn't at the time, is that those green eyes reflected how bad my kidneys were. So the uric acid on top of the blue is what made my eyes so green. Now that they're healthier, they're not so pretty anymore.
So Mary, how long have you been learning this and teaching this? How did you first discover this?
Actually, 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago is when I went to my first iridologist. But it's almost 20 years, or I guess I should say since 1990, that I've been doing this.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a while. I've been doing it for a while. Still fascinates me, though.
Yeah.
The brown indicates toxins from the liver. And when you see whitish haze, that indicates a pH imbalance. Now, I want to talk about the three most common things are pH imbalance, liver toxins, and a thin nervous system. So although this is an iridology, it helps you understand what you're looking in the eye. Whenever you have a pH imbalance, the body will start robbing calcium from the bones. So it might affect people's lower back. If it's bad and long enough, it's osteoporosis. It robs the body of sodium, especially the joints and the esophagus. So you might get some stiffness in your joints, arthritis, acid reflux. It goes through the skin, the bowel, the lungs, and the kidneys, and it can affect any of those things. So it's a common cause of asthma, if it's in the lungs. Bowel, it could be colitis or something like that. And if the body has robbed as much as it can, it will start watering it down with mucus. So when you wake up in the morning, it's like, before you can talk. Or you might have to blow your nose in the morning. Not a cold, just an everyday thing. It also, if the pH of your blood is not 7.41, you don't die unless it's below 7.35 or above 7.45, but at 7.40, let's say, that acid slightly irritates the arteries. So the body will take cholesterol and line the arteries to protect it. So people that have problems with needing bypass surgery or their arteries are clogged, a lot of times it's a pH imbalance. And it also helps or causes you to not be able to absorb nutrients the way that it should.
Do doctors test your pH of your blood?
The only time I've ever heard of it is if someone's pH is so horrible that the doctor is desperately trying to save their life, like when it's 4.0. But typically, no. I've only ever heard of it once. And
is this something you could do at home?
Absolutely. There's little test strips. And you just take the test strip, you spit on it, and you match a color, and it tells you what your pH is.
Oh, okay. So you're not actually testing your blood?
No. But if your urine and your saliva, which is very easily tested, is balanced, then you know your blood is probably balanced as well.
Okay.
Actually, the last place you see an imbalance is in the blood.
Do you talk about where to get these pH strips on your website?
Yeah. Actually, if you go to herbalremediesexpert.com, I have a link for you to buy pH strips.
Oh, okay. Great.
So, if you have a pH imbalance long enough, and I said that cholesterol will build up in your arteries, sometimes if it's bad enough, it'll show in the eye. And it'll look like rings, white rings, around the outside of the eye. I've had people tell doctors tell other people that this might be an old age ring. Matter of fact, I've known people that come to me in their 40s, they have an old age ring, and after they work with it for a while, 6 years later, when they're 6 years older, they have no old age ring. So it's not an old age ring. It's actually an indication of the health of your arteries. Another really common thing is a weakness on the myelin sheathing. There's something around the eye, and it's typically blue eyes. You see another ring around the pupil. It's supposed to be even. This was kind of spastic, and that's another condition that we're not going to get into tonight. But the fact that it is not real ropey, that it's not real thick out here, but it's prominent, indicates that this is a healthy nervous system. If you look at the one on the bottom, you can barely tell that ring. So this person has a healthy myelin, and this person does not. And if you look very carefully, you can see the stress rings that this person has developed. And stress absolutely wears down the myelin sheathing. So,
emotional stress, physical stress, any type of stress on your body?
Absolutely, either kind. The body doesn't differentiate between the two.
Okay.
Some symptoms of the myelin sheathing. Well, first let me show you what myelin sheathing is. The nerve is much like a copper wire. It conducts electricity. That's why they do an EKG and EEG, electrocardiogram, electroencephalogram. It's because we're partly electrical. There's a plastic coating on the copper wire, and the human body has a fatty coating called the myelin sheathing. So that ropiness that we saw on the previous page indicates how thick this fatty coating is. If it gets too thin, people might get to the point that noise and commotion and noise get on their nerves. They might have a hard time concentrating, getting to sleep. The real acid test is if they don't dream every night. You should dream every single night and be able to remember your dreams for about 20 minutes in the morning. And if you don't, then your myelin sheathing is too thin and your nervous system does not have enough nutrients. So